language concept. Uh, Today we are going to talk about the character array, but before discussing character array, let us talk about the previous lecture. In the previous lectures, we have talked about the integer array. We saw that how can we declare integer array. We also saw that how can we initialize integer array. How can we access the elements of an array. And then we also discussed the two-dimensional array, one-dimensional as well as the two-dimensional array, and we did some programs on both one-dimensional as well as the two-dimensional array. So array is basically a group of consecutive memory location. You already know this. Now character array is also a collection of consecutive memory location. So basically here in character array, we store different characters. Like one character variable can store uh, only one character. But if we want to store more than one character, then obviously we have to declare a character array. So the topic that are going to be discussed in today's lecture, that is the character array. First of all, we should know that what is character array, and then we will see that how can we declare a character array, and also we will see how can we initialize character array. So if the data type of one-dimensional array is character, then it is known as character one-dimensional array. Like in the previous lectures, we talked about the integer array, integer one-dimensional array. Now in that case, all the elements of the array must be integer. So here in the case of character array, all the elements of the array must be characters, and we call it as the character one-dimensional array. Character array is also called string. Keep this thing in your mind that it is also known as string. So character array is basically it is a string. String is what? String is the combination of characters. As I told you that if you want to store more than one character in a variable, for this you have to declare a character array. So basically a character array is a string, and string is the combination of different characters. Each string must be terminated by a null character. This character, the slash and then zero, this is known as the null character. Here you have to keep this thing in your mind that each string, whatever string you are basically using in your program, that is basically ended using a special character that is known as the null character. With the help of null character, the compiler knows the end of the string. Now, as soon as the compiler uh, encounter this null character, then the compiler would know that it is basically the end of the string or the end of the character array. The compiler can easily differentiate the null character from that of zero, as their ASCII codes are different. Remember, you might be confused that this character means that this is zero, but it is not zero, because null character, the compiler basically differentiates zero in null character with respect to its ASCII values. Remember that the ASCII value of null character is 0, while the ASCII value of 0 is 48. Keep this thing in your mind. That's how the compiler know that basically where I have to end the string. The first and most important thing in any variable is that you have to declare that variable before using the variable. Just like you were using any other variable, you have to declare the variable first, and then you have to use that variable. Similarly, if you want to use a character array, then you have to declare the array or the character array. So here char is what? Char is basically the data type. Name is the array name, and obviously this is the array length or the array size. Here you can see this is the memory representation or memory mapping of as soon as you declare this statement and the compiler encounter this statement, the compiler will reserve 6 bytes of memory for this much array. As you can see here, the length is how much? The length is 6. So keep this thing in your mind. This is how you can declare array. Let's go to the div C++, and here we know that how can we declare normal character variable. This is how you basically declare a normal character variable, and then you assign a value. Now this value must be, let's suppose it must be enclosed in single quote, because in one character variable you can store only one character. So if you want to print the result, you have to use cout, and then you have to write the variable name. Now if you, when you run this program, you can see this is the output, because in variable a, which is the data type of variable a, is what, that is char. So you can see the output here. In a we have stored j, so this is the output. With the help of the cout statement, we basically uh, display the output of this program. Now if you want to store more than 2 characters, or maybe 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, whatever number of characters, then for this you have to declare array. So how can you declare array? You can declare array by first mentioning the data type and then the name of the variable. It can be any name, even you can write this a, okay, but for the sake of understanding, we are going to write the variable name as name. You have to keep the rules of identifier, okay, and this is 10. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that we have declared a character array. The name of the array is name itself, and the length is how much? The length is 10. This is the data type. So this is how you declare the character array. Let us go back to the slide. Now how can you initialize character array? Initialization of character array, the following are two methods for initialization or initializing character array. Char ch, let's assume that this is kardan, and then here I have used the null character. Okay, this is the hard way of initializing an array. In the above type of initialization of character, we must put a null character at the end. For example, let us go back and let us declare the, let us initialize the array with the first method, okay, char name, and then 7. After 7, you can have this, sorry, individually we can store elements in the different memory location of this array. So for example, this is k, and then a, and then r. We have to use single quote d, single quote a, single quote n, and then 1 for the null character. So you have to put this null character at the end, so that the compiler must know that this is the end of this is the end of the string called name. So when you run this program, let us see name. Okay, in order to see the output, when you run this program and see the output, here you can see this is our output. Another way of initializing an array is this char ch kardan. Now in this method, we don't need to put the null character straight away. What you can do is you simply write something like this, kardan, and when you print the output, here you can see this is the output. In this way, you cannot use any null character. So moving forward, note if you want to supply string from keyboard, then the cn object would not accept anything after spaces. Now let me give you a very good example here. First of all, what does this mean? It means that whenever we want to use the cn object with character array, it is not going to accept anything after the spaces. For example, you want to store your name, okay, and your name length is, let's assume 15 or 12, 13. Fine. So this is what this is. We have declared a character array. The name of the array is what? That is name itself. Here I would write a statement. Please enter your name. and then I'm going to use name. Fine. So let us compile this code and see the output. Please enter your name. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write my name, for example, any name, for example, Arman, and then Khan. So here you can see we have used space. Now when I uh, press enter, what happens? Only Arman will be printed. What happened? Okay, we have not printed the output. So let's try to run this program once again and look out for the output. So here I'm going to write Arman and then Khan. Here you can see I have basically provided a space, so nothing will be displayed after the space. Here you can see this is the output. The output is Arman, but it did not show me anything after the space, which is Khan. Okay, only Arman is displayed. So what is the solution? The solution is simple. You can use a function, a built-in function called gets. Okay, gets is normally used in the character array. So gets, we also use another function, and that is puts. Now puts will will display the output of any character array. Okay, so here like this will take the input from the user, and this will display the output on the terminal screen. So when you run this program, and let's see, again we are going to write Arman and then Khan. Okay, so now you will see Arman and Khan both of them. Here you can see this is the output, Arman and then space and then Khan. Okay, so this is how you are going to play with character array. Now moving forward, okay, this is the memory mapping of character array. You can see here I have initialized an array. The array is 6. The length of the array is how much? This is 6. So here you can see this is the memory mapping in 0. Okay, let me write this as 0. Fine, this is the 0th location. This is actually the 1, name 1. These are basically the indexes. And this is index 2. This is index, let me write, this is the index 3. This is index 4. And let me add one more index for the null character. So this is basically the memory mapping. Here the name of the array is name and the length is 6. Now if you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 6. So these are the indexes. Just like we saw the indexes in integer array, we can also represent these indexes this way for the character array as well. Okay, dear students, we have some built-in strings, and these strings are basically some built-in functions. We also call them as string functions. Now, following are some built-in string functions for which we must include string.h library. So for this, the header file must be included. Now, these are the most commonly used string function. We're going to work on each of them here in our lecture. So first of all, string copy, string length, string concatenation, string comparison. Now we will see that what is this string copy function used for. It copies the contents of one character array into another, including the null character. Remember, it is just like when you are copying a sentence in Word file into somewhere else, okay? So the same way you can copy the string, the content of one character array or the one string into another string. This is the general syntax. The general syntax that is used here, string copy, strcpy, destination, and this is source. For example, source may be anything you want, okay? But in which string you want to copy, that is then the destination. Now, in order to avoid the overflow, the destination array must have enough size to accommodate the contents of the source array. Overflow is a state in array that you are basically overusing the characters, okay? So let's try to work on this example here. Okay, first of all, I have to remove this and I have to declare two arrays. For example, name, okay, it consists of 10 elements, and then I'm going to declare another array of the same size in order to avoid the buffer overflow. So then what happens here? Let me initialize this array with name Muhammad. Okay, so what I'm going to do here in this case is that in this array I have stored Muhammad. So I want to copy this content of this string of this character array into this character array. So for this I have to use string copy strcpy, okay, destination where you want to copy this content, obviously in this character array. So I have to write name 1, this is the destination string, and then name, and then I have to use this semicolon. Here you have to include the string.h header file. Now when you want to print this name one, because here in name one I did not store anything, that's why it must have Muhammad, because I have copied the content Muhammad into the name one. Okay, so when I print the name one string, what happens? Muhammad will be printed on the screen. Here you can see Muhammad is printed on the screen because the content is basically copied. The content of this string or the content of this character array is copied into this character array. Fine. So this is how you can actually use the string copy function. Another function which is mostly used for different purposes, that is string length. Okay, strlen function. So this is the another function that we can use when we want to play with strings. So this function is used to find out the number of characters in a string. For example, there is a string. Let's assume this is the string. Okay, I'm going to remove all the stuff. Let's assume this is the string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, how many characters? There are 8. So for this reason, if you want to know that how many characters long a particular string is, then you have to use string length function, and here you need to use the name character array, and what you are using is that you have to use you have to write the semicolon and then you print the result. Okay, or you can directly print the result this way: cout string length, in order to find out the total number of character in particular string name. So when you print this, what happens? Okay, here you can see this is the total number of character in this name character array. Okay, you can take any any character, or you can take any string, and then you can find the numbers, or you can find the number of character in that particular array. Fine, so let's assume this time we are going to take Khan. Okay, and when we print this, it is going to print us the exact number of characters in this array. Fine, so moving forward, the other function, the string function that is mostly used, that is the string concatenation. It basically appends a copy of the source string to the destination. It actually link a copy of the source string to the destination string. It basically combines, in simple word, it combines one string with the other string. Here, let me go back to the example here. First of all, what I will do, I will declare two different uh, character arrays, for example, name, and it must be, let's assume, 6 characters long, and I'm going to write Arman in this case, or in this character array, and then another that is, let's assume, Khan. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to combine both these two character arrays. So how can I do this? I can do this with the help of the string concatenation function. Okay, here I have to write the destination, okay, string, and that is the name, and then because I want to concatenate this with this, and here this must be name1, name, and then name1. Fine, so let us print this result. Okay, okay, initializer for string. Fine, let me put here 7. So what happens here, I have to use the cout. I didn't use the cout. Here I'm going to print name1. Now you will see this is our second array. Okay, so when you run this program, only Khan is printed. Now, in other words, you can, when you, let me print out this name and run this time, here you can see this is actually both of these array, they are what? They are basically concatenated, they are combined with each other. I have stored Arman in this array and Khan in this array. So when I print the output, what happened, it basically print me this thing, Arman Khan. It means that both these arrays are what they are actually combined or concatenated. The terminating null character in destination is overwritten by the first character of source. Okay, just like here, this is what? This is our destination string, and this is the source string. Now here, the destination string, obviously this must be terminated by a null character. This null character is actually replaced by the first character of this string, okay, and then null character is actually added at the end of this string, okay, and a new null character is appended at the end of the new string formed by the concatenation of path and destination. So this is how this string concatenation works. This is the general syntax. The general syntax is string cat, destination, and then source. Okay, string comparison, this is another function, built-in function that we use in character array. So here, let me give you a very good example. How can we compare two strings? For example, we have name, okay, and name is, let's assume, 10 characters long. Let's assume we this time we are going to write something like this, Rohan. So what happens, this is the initialization. I'm going to declare another character, okay, character array, and that is also of the same length. Let's assume that I would print a message, please enter your name. So your name, I have to use cn name1 to take input, because this array has already been initialized. So for this array, I'm going to take input from the user, okay, and the user is going to provide the same string or the same character array. So after this, I'm going to compare both these strings. So string comparison, okay, name, and then name1, that must be equal to 0. If this condition is true, then both, print me this message, both strings are equal, else cout strings are not equal. So when I run this program, what happens? Okay, now here you can see where is our control. The control is here in the name1 string. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write, first of all, I'm going to make it, I want to make this condition invalid. So for this, that's how I have written Rohan, because here I have written Rohan R with capital, okay? That's why when I press enter, what happens? A message is shown to me, strings are not equal, okay? Why? Because the ASCII code of this small r is different than the ASCII code of this r, okay? Because it compares the ASCII code of each and every alphabet used in the string. So for this reason, when I'm going to run this program again, this time I'm going to make the condition true. So that's why this message will be printed, both strings are equal. Now here you can see both strings are what? They are equal. So this is how you compare one string with the other string. Okay, reading embedded blanks and avoiding buffer overflow. Now again, there is one problem or one issue we are facing, that is the reading of embedded blanks. Now, while dealing with the strings, if we want to supply string which consists of more than one word, separate with a space from keyword at runtime, then only the first word will be accepted. The rest of the string will get ignored. Remember, just like we have used puts or the gets function, okay? Because of this reason, this is because of the extraction operator, this operator, okay? Because when we use this operator with the cn object, uh, which will store or which will consider the space as a string terminator. Here, when you use the cn object and also the extraction operator, now because of this, it will actually accept the space as a string terminator. That's why the second word will not be printed. So what is the solution? Thus, to avoid this problem, we need to use another function, that is get with the object of class stream, cn of class stream, okay? We will see that how can we do this. This will not only read the embedded blanks, but will also avoid the buffer overflow. The same, the two advantages of using this get function with cn object. So here, let me write this once again. Let me declare character array, and let me print a message for the user. Please enter your name, and then user will enter his name with two words, okay? And then when user want to print his name, what happens? Instead of printing his full name, the first name will be printed on the screen. Like here you can see I have entered Arman Khan. Now only Arman will be printed. So what is the solution? One solution is to use gets function, okay, which is built-in function. Another solution is to use cn dot get, okay? Cn dot we have to use the cn dot get function. Fine. So for this reason, let us go back to the div C++ and let me write cn dot get name, and then the size of the this character array. So I have to run this program and see what happens. Arman Khan, it will be printed because of the less number of or the length is too small. That's why we have to change the length first, okay? And then we have to use this in our program. So Arman Khan, here you can see the complete name is written here. The same program is actually written here, okay, control clear screen, okay, this is used in the turbo C, okay, constant integer size that's equal to 10. This is the constant size, okay, that is what that is done. And here I have declared an array. The name of the array is what? That is A. This is the size, so the size is 10, okay, and then cout enter any string. You can write the same program in the dev C++ as well, okay. For example, in this case, for example, first of all I have to use the constant keyword and then constant size, okay. The size is, let's assume 12, okay, and then I'm going to use array. So this is the name of the array. The size is what? The size is already 10, so I have used the size variable inside the array. Now after this I'm printing a simple message, enter your name, and then okay, I have to use cn dot get this function, and then I have to use the name of the array, and then the size is obviously 12, okay, and then I'm going to print the result on the screen. Fine. So here I have to run the program. Here what I can see is, let's assume this is Arman Khan. Now Arman Khan is printed on the screen. So this is how you work with the string or with the character arrays. So moving forward to the next example. Now here there is a note. The get function will take two arguments. The first one is address of array. Now this is the address of the array or the name of the array, while the second one is the size of the array. Also the name of the array is its address, okay. So this means that this is the address of the array and this is the name of the array. This is the total size of the array. Here reading multiple lines, okay, how can you use to take input in multiple lines? Now what happens, we can supply string from the keyboard at runtime only in a single line. You cannot use multiple lines. If somebody want to supply string in multiple lines, then we should use the same get function but with 3 arguments, okay, with any special character. So this function can accept the string in multiple lines until we press the $sign. Fine. Moving forward, let's assume here okay, this the same program. Fine. So I only need to add this $sign. Fine. So here I have to run the program. Now you can use multiple line input. For example, I am writing AR in this line, okay. Now when I enter, it is again asking me for some characters, ARMAN, and then I'm going to use space and then Khan in this, okay. As soon as you basically press this $sign, you can see what happened. It basically stopped the multi-line or multiple line input, okay. When you run this program and you, for example, write Arban, okay, ARMAN, but I don't want to use this the second line, so that's why I have to use the $sign. See, only Arman is printed. Fine. So this is how you can work with the string or the character array. Thank you very much. I hope that you have learned the how to use character array. So let me summarize this.